good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the world that you are in. We are here tonight with another Link to the Past Randomizer tournament race between Dr. Marty and Marcnificent. We are looking here at Game 3. This is an open mode, 7 crystals to get into GT Tower, 7 crystals to beat up Ganon, and winner gets to move on to the round of 64. Now, tonight, I am joined in the booth by Hammer Bro. How are you feeling tonight?
It's another day. It's another rando seed. I'm getting my rando fix. I'm sitting here in the booth. I'm feeling great, man. I want a good race. I want us to have some fun. And I'd love for Marcnificent to have a few less colons in that timer thing, but hey, what can you do? So I'm here. I'm looking for a good race. I'm hoping that no one gets rando today. What are you thinking about this race?
I would like that as well. If we can if we can just have a nice, like, something clean, something without too craziness, that'd be great. But I mean, who are we kidding here, honestly? Got a little happy holidays there from Marcnificent there. To everybody else as well, happy holidays. Hope things are treating you well. And we should be getting going in just a minute or two. And as I speak.
Well,
all right.
That's half of our opening package. Now we just need Uncle to give us the sword.
All right, well, I guess we're going to just start with the exact same route here. We got both going for a Link. Marcnificent's looking like he's going to get that tree pull on his way, at least. Time to see what we got.
That tree pull is really nice. Bombs for a tier 1 is something everyone's going to be really, really happy to see.
Let's just get our fetch quests going a little bit early today. That was the shovel there at Uncle. And going on to this next chest here, just a heart piece, and Dr. Marty's going to save and quit. Mark's got a choice to make here with those 4 bombs. He could, if he wants, he could do a bomb escape. Give us a show early.
I feel like the only way that would happen is we went and picked up 4 more bombs. Meanwhile, flippers in Sanctuary. Probably not the foot item Dr. Marty was looking for, but not bad to start off with.
Oh, Houlihan room, I hardly knew ye.
No, you still knew it just fine. You just need to get the gloves and use a bomb jump. Or a bomb bonk.
Some bomb sort of use here. Mark picking up those flippers from Sanctuary and then saving and quitting. It looks like he's going to go ahead and still take the south route here.
It doesn't surprise me too much. There's a couple of 50-50 bushes here he's probably going to make use of, and then he's also going to be able to just go ahead and get that dig spot right out of the way.
Yeah, you never want to leave these early fetch quests to too late here, even though this time he's only going to get a heart container here, and it looked like Lumberjack Ledge was also the heart container as well. So not going to be looking at Aga that way, but you know, we could run into some craziness here in a little bit later.
Yeah, we're still looking for a couple of ways to get our butts to the Dark World without having to do it, as we see a book. Hey, how about a pet check? Do it. Aww.
He might just jump down this hole right now and then go check a little bit of ped. Race game, just a piece of heart there, and inside was also just a piece of heart. Well, let's see what his next action here is. This is something already.
Full heart over in the library, so we're probably not going to be back there for any reason, even if we do get the boots. Alright, so we have a pendant up on Hera, and then Eastern and Desert, just regular crystals. And this is going to be kind of fun, because we got one person routing from the south up, and the other one doing a traditional route from the north down. So we're going to see a bunch of stuff in a really quick set here. The only weird thing is that Marcnificent might have difficulty getting the rupees before he heads up to Bottle Vendor, so that might have to be a late check for him.
Yeah, that, and you always have a chance of running into a bottle when you're coming from the north. Oh, or you can grab a 300 out of the chicken hut and just not have an issue at all.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here giving commentators blessings. I'm going to try to continue doing that while Dr. Marty does grab some more bombs and a mirror. Bottle vendor rips off Marcnificent. I'll take 80 of those rupees.
And we're going to jump into the well here on Mark's side, and Marty's going to follow him right there. So we'll get a quick high five while we pick up the flute. Okay, good start. What else?
Now we really just need a bottle, and then we're pretty much set here for Kakariko, honestly.
Yeah. Best thing, other than that, we could get the powder and we could just knock this whole thing out in a second there. There's a hammer. And 50. Okay, so goodbye, Aga. You're dead today.
Well, we still have the potential for the Moon Pearl. Or both of our gloves being locked behind the Dark World. So Aga's not dead quite yet.
Right. I was a little early on that, I think. Early for me, so I'm still waking up.
I mean, I don't blame you. I like being early on skipping Aghanim too. Pretty sure everyone does.
All right, we had a simultaneous bird release right there, so we've got fast travel.
Yep, our runners have released the Quacken. Alrighty, so now as amusing as it is to say 5 minutes in, our runners are just kind of retracing each other's steps at this point. No, they're not going to find too terribly much here other than 300 there and a mirror over here. Maybe some more bombs for Marcnificent. And unfortunately not going to get that bottle, which is really the only thing preventing us from being able to pretty much full clear Kakariko in one shot. But still pretty good. You know, we got the hammer, which is a nice weapon. Got the flippers to give us a little bit of progression. That book could get us into desert if we were feeling a little gutsy. So we'll see where that goes.
Especially with that flute now, you're not going to worry too much about the bottle because you can just flute back here and check the sick kid anytime you want in pretty much no time here. Hey, check out that rupee count.
Yeah, 397 apiece. We're still about 103 away from getting ripped off by our favorite fish friend. So we'll see how that goes. Marcnificent has a chance to check the ped here. Oh, well. I can always hope, can't I?
He might jump down the hole, come back out. It's you know, Hera being a pendant there, that's usually one of the easier ones to set up for if you're going to do a ped check. But yeah, no, we're not getting that yet. Chat's going to have to sit and wait.
Yeah, you guys can
Sorry, chat.
You guys can just stew in the ped potential for a minute here. Dr. Marty taking advantage of that mirror, though, making one trip into the dam, and that is all.
Passing up that 3-pack of bombs there to go ahead and move on over to Mini Moldorm Cave there. Hope he doesn't have any problem with the Moldorms being a little bit of too good at dodging things.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You got the 6 bombs. It's probably going to be enough. Worst case scenario, you could bring out the hammer like that. But now that he's taken out that first guy, I don't think we're going to have too much difficulty.
It's a fantastic room there done by Dr. Marty. That hammer hitbox is not an easy thing to deal with. There's your Quake, a green goo, 300 more rupees. Zora is now completely good to go, and a little bit of extra. Wow, we're doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, definitely not bad. And the one thing I really love about the seed so far is that we've gotten both the mirror and the book, and we've gotten them really, really early, which means we're not going to have... It's less likely that we're going to have a situation where we run into something late that gives... Okay, that Moldorm somehow got invulnerability. Not sure how that happened, but can you please return the cape to its rightful location? Thank you.
Those hit boxes with those bombs, it just as much fun as those hammer hitboxes. They just never seem to do exactly what you want. And Dr. Marty is making his way over to desert and finds a sword on the ledge right there. So we're gonna have the ability to kill things a little bit easier now.
Yeah, something with a slightly more friendly hitbox, if you will. Meanwhile, keep in mind, Dr. Marty still has not gone to that dig spot, so that's probably in the back of his head at the very least.
And with the flute there, that might actually be... It's a little bit more difficult to route it. You've got flute, you've got mirror. There's a good chance you're not going to be saving and quitting anytime soon. So you're going to have to really make a conscious effort to get over there. Waterfall Cave just got a pair of red rupees there. We'll have to see here exactly if our friend Mr. Big Fish up on top here actually has something for us today, or just wants a whole bunch of money.
I mean, he's always got something for us. It's usually just, 500 rupees for 20 rupees.
Right on the ledge is just 3 bombs as Dr. Marty picks up a new pair of clothes there, makes his damage a little bit less.
I'm going to go completely off the wall here, and I'm going to say that Zora is going to give us the boots. I know it's not going to happen, but I'm trying to be nice here, guys.
Let's go Moon Pearl.
That's a slightly more common thing, I feel like, but hopefully we'll get something other than a big 20. Or a piece of heart.
Yeah, well, what it is what it is. So, Dr. Marty's going to make his way over here. Looks like he's going to be able to pick up a sword. Now, Desert is boots locked right now, so we've got Big Key on the torch, unfortunately. Marcnificent, on the other hand, he's going to make his way over to the eastern area, probably check out Sasharala, and then go on from there.
Yep, you could say that it's rather unfortunate that Desert is boots locked, but we'll see how that works. He did not grab Agana while he was over there, so that's going to have to be a separate flute if indeed it comes down to Agana potentially having something useful for us today.
Is a green pendant Palace of Darkness, it looks like, as we've got a powder in the back of Sasharalla's closet here, so that's one more check to go do in the village when we get the chance to head back there.
And honestly, with that quick flute there, it looks like Marcnificent might be heading straight back there. Yep, we're going to skip Eastern for the time being. Which I'm not terribly surprised by, but at the same time, even with the flute, it does take a little bit of a walk to get there. Not going to get anything from Sick Kid, as we know, but Powder is a new check. Meanwhile, Marty is headed up the mountain, going to be able to walk into Hera and do the entire east side if he so chooses.
I kind of feel like with our current item loadout right now that we've getting a little bit... This probably is where we're supposed to go.
Yeah, between the fact that we don't have much else to check. Okay, we've got 5-6 crystals sitting in Thieves Town and Turtle Rock. I did not see the pendants. I think one was Skullwoods and one was Pod.
One was Misery Mire there. Misery Mire was our red pendant. I gotta look at that one.
Okay, good call. So I missed that one pendant. We are going to get a check here on Ether Tablet. Not going to be able to grab it, but we don't really want it, so that's not bad.
All right, so yeah, Ether Tablet just got a little piece of love there as Dr. Marty's going to make his way into Hera here to see if there's anything that's worth getting. Goes down into the front basement here, finds a big key, so if he wants to, this is a completable dungeon right now, but it is just a pendant.
Yeah, this is interesting. So far, we've seen him skip 2 checks between Agana's Cave and the dig spot that he has not gotten to yet. So it's kind of interesting. We'll see if he continues going that route. Or if he starts kind of doubling back and picking up on those spots that were not grabbed yet.
Yeah, and he just chooses to just go ahead and leave Hera. It's a completely understandable choice right now. I mean, you've got other things to do that aren't pendants. At the same time, Hera is not the fastest one to get back to. So... have to see if that comes back and bites him there a little bit.
Yeah, even with the flute, not a fun trek up the mountain. We are seeing a spiral cave while Marcnificent realizes that, hasn't quite realized it yet. Actually, probably has realized that the big key is, in fact, up on that torch through process of elimination. So he's going to grab that sword and probably head on out of here. Maybe check Agonist Cave. We'll see how that goes.
Kind of hope he checks Agonist Cave just for our sake. I mean, it may not be the best thing from his standpoint, but for us, it would be kind of nice to know exactly what's in there.
I mean, it's not too far of a walk, and at this point, you're already here. If you decide to check it later, you're going to have to wait for the flute and wait for the duck and then fly over here, so you might as well. As we see a fire rod, I believe, over there.
That was an ice rod.
Ice rod. All right.
Yeah, that's even better, actually. To be honest, in a lot of ways, that eliminates one of the more annoying trolley items that we could actually have to find here in a little bit later. Especially knowing that also we need that to get through Turtle Rock, because we grab a moon pearl here out of the bottom top of Paradox Cave. Not sure which one that is exactly.
We'll just call it the big room, as we see just a piece of heart over on Agonist Cave, so nothing important there. The Moon Pearl is interesting, but doesn't really help us in terms of avoiding Aghanim right now. We still need a glove.
So where are you going to go here? Dr. Marty is going to go to the dig spot, but if you've got a choice between doing the Front of Escape or Eastern Palace, which way would you typically go there, Hammer?
So in this case, I don't have the bow. So I would, and because Eastern is in fact a crystal, and because I have the hammer and the mirror at this point, everything is leaning me towards maybe getting lucky and being able to do Pod and Eastern at the same time. So I would head towards Escape personally, just in hopes that I would be able to do that Pod Eastern combo. It does not look like Marty's doing that, but there's a reason that Marty is playing this game, and I am sitting here talking with you. So
I guess Marty here actually has the back of Sasha Rales as well, so he's going to get his powder, and then he's going to have that add another decision to his list there a second ago. But other than that, there is also that chance that it's in Hera, the check that he passed up a second ago, which would be really unfortunate for him, because then he'd have to route up the mountain again. And as Mark is showing on his side here, this is not a very fast check. You're looking at least 30 seconds to a full minute to climb this entire thing. It's less if you can find boots, but neither of our runners have had that luck yet.
Yeah, and Marty doing the same thing Mark did, deciding to not really worry about Eastern itself right now. You've just got too many items. You know, it's too tempting at this point. You just need that bow and Dark World access, and you'll be able to clear them both. And I don't think anyone really wants to pass up that potential. Also, there's one more location we haven't thought of at this given point. They still haven't checked Ice Rock Cave.
Right, you're right. Nobody has decided to walk over there yet, at least not that I've seen. I mean, it could easily have missed it, but it
so
is.
Dr. Marty had to use a green goo there because he didn't have any magic. So keep that in the back of your head. Might need that later. Hopefully, won't end up being a big deal.
He is already one bottle down, but with the flute plus the already over 1,000 rupees there, he can go flute and grab some magic anytime that he needs.
Yeah, most definitely, but it's all a situation of what you feel like you have time for, so we'll see how that turns out.
Well, Mark is in Hera, and he's gonna pick up the map here in the middle chest. And it's going to be up to him exactly where is he going to go. Is he going to nope out as well? Yep, they've both noped out. They're following each other's footsteps here pretty accurately.
Yeah, it's basically just a reshuffling because they're doing everything in different orders, but it's the same groupings, as Dr. Marty is going to go ahead and do the flipper locations if he can manage, and Marcnificent is going to go ahead and deal with the Death Mountain area. I don't think either of them did Hobo either. I may have missed that.
I was literally about to say the same thing. Nobody has done a Hobo yet, and we've had those flippers since we started the game. So kind of wonder if that's a place that we should be going here in just a minute.
So honestly, with the way that both of our runners are almost playing peekaboo with this seed, where they're not really willing to fully commit to something, it makes me think that they're both a little anxious. Either because this is a potential elimination match, or partially because the person they're facing against they feel like is better than themselves. But no one's really made a play yet. Like, I'm gonna go do this. No one went into Eastern, no one's gone into Hera, no one's even done Ice Rod Cave, for goodness sake. So it's seeming like we're getting a lot of very tentative feelers.
Yeah, nobody's making like a good full clear. There is a lot of like, oh, I've got this one fetch quest item, oh, let me go check it immediately sort of thing. Nobody's been to, like you've mentioned, nobody's been to Ice Rod Cave, nobody's been to Hobo yet. They're leaving a lot of one-off checks, but at the same time they're checking these kind of fetch quests here. I think they're both trying to overly read the logic, and in an early game like this, that can be really punishing in sometimes here. As Marty is making his way into escape here, Mark's about to pick up his Moon Pearl right about now.
Yep, and honestly, what makes me not fearful, but slightly hesitant about that is that in version 31, especially from what I've seen, there have been a lot of situations where we end up playing scavenger hunt for that last item. And if that happens, be it, let's say, the fire rod or something that I've seen scavenger hunt for a lot, they're going to have a lot of options, which could turn really ugly really fast.
Oh, you speak the truth there by a large amount. Now, as you were saying though about people not making moves, we've got Mark going back to Hera there. Looks like he's gonna climb that tower. So there's 2 items sitting up here in Hera there. If he gets lucky, and this is where his progression is, where his first glove is, then, well, we've got a little something.
Honestly, even if it's not, if it comes down to a situation where there's a search for something and Marty has to come back up here because he decides to do Hera before wherever that item is, it's still going to be a time save. Like, even if this ends up being completely useless, if Marty comes back here to do it, Marcnificent is save time, regardless of what's here or what's not here.
Totally. Here, Marty so far hasn't found anything. He's making his way back down to Zelda's cell. Let's see if this is where our progression lies, and no, that's just the map there. So unless Marty's willing to do some dark rooms, he's not in the right spot.
I mean, at this point, you might as well give it a shot. You should be able to, at the very least, manage Dark Cross, and does have that key there, so could get all the way back. It is out of logic, but at this point, you're looking for either the lamp or the fire rod to get you there, because of the new dark room logic. So, not a terrible play, and with not a whole lot left, it doesn't really surprise me to see him do it.
And Mark, turns out he definitely made the right play there. In the big chest of Tower of Hera, he found his gloves. He's got Dark World access, and he's going to take down his first boss here in just a minute, as he's dancing with a worm right now. So seem to want to play nice. He's got 2 hits down on him. Moldorm giving him a couple of deeks there. Gets the last one and starts to explode. Dr. Marty has made his way. He picked up a 10-pack of arrows there from the dark room as Marcnificent pulls out the Cane of Brian there. The Cane of Berna, sorry. And actually, that puts Spike Cave right in logic for him. If he wants to just dump down there right now, he could do that right now.
I was just going to say that you took the words right out of my mouth, and it looks like that is exactly what he's doing. Probably not going to be anything, but again, it's another location, out of the way, you don't have to worry about it, just go ahead and get it done.
This is one of those great, not great things about open mode, and a lot of times is that you have taken a slightly different route here, and let's just start the clock right now on how long it's going to take for Dr. Marty to get up to Hera right now, if that's going to be his last location. Because right now he's got a choice between the Mushroom, Eastern Palace, and going back up to Hera. So this could be a while.
So honestly, here's the interesting part. I don't think it'll end up playing out this way, but it could, as we'll see in just a second here. So Marcnificent just got the glove, which would give him logical access to that mushroom, which doesn't lead to anything, but it very well could have, and that could have been really interesting, especially if it was a second glove, for instance. That would have been absolutely insane. It does look like we're going to get a Hype Cave check here. Hype Cave has been, I'll say, iffy at best. Do you anticipate anything useful here?
Let's see here. What are we missing? Yeah, probably not. Probably not. We're probably not getting anything here. Let's find out.
I'm going to call it a medallion.
Yeah.
I want to see a medallion here.
Okay, that's a good one. Titan's mitts are good. And yeah, so it's Titan's mitts and then junk. So yeah, rate that cave.
Well, here's the problem. The glove being there showed us that it's not going to be anywhere else that Dr. Marty's going to get to, which honestly at this point is a good thing, because it means that he doesn't really have a whole lot else where he can go. Eastern's on the docket, so is Hera, and really that's it. So unless Eastern gives us something to send us off on a tangent here, we don't really have much else. We also do have Hobo, but there's really not a whole lot of locations left. So Dr. Marty is going to get that glove sooner rather than later.
Yeah, this is the thing with Dr. Marty, though, is he is going to clear this entire light world here, while Marcnificent on the other side, he probably gets to do the most efficient route around picking up items as he goes, as he grabs his Master Sword there out of Cave 45, and Hobo just gives you a piece of heart. So Marcnificent is in a great situation right here. Pretty much he's going to pick up everything that he could possibly want. Just he can knock out Smiths and everything there. He could even knock out Purple Chest since he's got the flute. He can do everything for him is going to be great. While Dr. Marty, unfortunately, is going to be dipping Eastern Palace, it seems right now.
Yeah, that's just about all he has left other than Hera itself. This could get interesting, though, if we have something ridiculous like a bow in Eastern. So we'll see how that plays. I'm kind of hoping that there's something useful in Eastern here, because it would kind of make the tides a little more even, whereas right now it's not looking good for Marty. And I want to see close races. I don't want to see anyone get blown out or get randoed. I would like to see, there we go, I'd like to see that item in the dig game before, we hit 40 digs. But finally got that heart piece, or that full heart, I should say.
I wonder how many that actually was there. That looked like it took a long time to just get yourself a heart container, but yeah, I kind of agree with you here. I'm kind of hoping for Dr. Marty to pick up something in here good, a boots, a bow, or something, just so we could kind of go ahead and even match her. Because yeah, Mark is starting to build a bit of a lead, unfortunately.
Yeah, really what I want to see at this point is the bow. If we see the bow in here, then it could lead to all sorts of shenanigans, especially if that second bow is hidden somewhere up in Ganon's Tower or somewhere similar.
Mark's going to get to give us a check here at Hammer Pegs, and looks like that's just a piece of heart, which at this point he's not particularly interested in. And he'll come up here and just be able to mirror and quickly check the Smiths, and then it's up to him whether or not he's going to take that purple chest. I assume he will.
Yeah, at this point I'd be really surprised to not see that. You're probably feeling pretty good with that dip into Hera being as successful as it was. So at this point I'd be playing the, alright, let's not do something stupid and lose this race for myself by missing something really important game.
Definitely. As he picks up the Ether Medallion there from the Smiths, grabs his purple chest, he's probably going to walk out to right in front of Thieves Town there. Go ahead and mirror there, flute down, and check in with Gary down there, and pick up his pick up whatever items in the purple chest.
Yeah, it makes sense. You've got a flute back there anyways, so you might as well just walk it up there once as opposed to having to walk up there and then walk back.
Dr. Marty's getting the unfortunate bad news that, yeah, this is not where you're supposed to be, as he's currently out of logic going here to try to find out exactly what's in the back here of Eastern Palace. Hopefully he makes his way immediately after this up to Hera and gets himself going here pretty quickly.
I mean, honestly, the only thing he has left other than Hera is Agnes Cave, if I'm not mistaken. So, not kind of running out of locations. And at that point, gonna feel really behind.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. As he picks up 10 arrows, just finds out that, yeah, this is definitely, I have made a mistake, and it's time to, hopefully he knows it's time to climb up that mountain. This purple chest just is a piece of heart today. Mark is going to flute right back to 3 and go right back into his portal here. This is why, when you can get this layout here where you have the mitts, you have the hammer, and you have the mirror, this is why going this way is just so fast and so easy.
Yeah, we got a lot of items that allowed us to not necessarily move quickly per se, but to route things more efficiently. Thankfully, Dr. Marty does not have the double beeps that I know some people are fond of.
Oh, yeah, that double beeps. I can't understand why somebody would do that to themselves. Honestly, it's like, do you like it that much?
Honestly, I feel like at that point it's a war of attrition, knowing that it annoys you less than it annoys the other person listening in.
I assume at that point you're doing it just to troll chat, because you're probably just listening to something else on on your headphones or something, and you're like, I'm not even paying attention to the music.
So an interesting thought here is that Dr. Marty could get those gloves and then head right out, which would save him a couple minutes, assuming there's nothing on Ped. Because there wasn't anything further up here in Hera.
Getting that blue cane doesn't really help you with anything there. Spike Cave didn't have anything of note, so if he does that, he's going to get there pretty quick. He's there. It looks like he's choosing not to do the bomb jump. I kind of understand this right now between his current heart setup and always the possibility that you might accidentally mess up and send yourself down two floors down to the beginning, especially when you're already feeling behind. You probably don't really want to take any additional risks.
Yeah, and it looks like he's following that train of thought, as we're going to go ahead and take out Moldorm just in case.
Mark's going to make his way back up to the top of Thieves Town here. He kind of accidentally forgets to hit the switch. Gets it there with the ice rod. A little known use of a little used way of hitting that switch, it looks like. But and Dr. Marty, very quick Moldorm fight there. So that'll save him a second or two at least. Gets his Brian. Whatever. Too many people call it Brian there. I keep getting tripped over there half the time.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm pretty sure everyone knows you're talking about the Cane of Burning either way, so not something I'm too terribly worried about. All right, so now we get to see. Nope, gonna go ahead and skip that. So we are headed straight into the Dark World, and yep, we're gonna go do Hype Cave. Looks like so he's gonna get his mitts, which is nice because that allows him to do the most efficient routing as well.
The one thing that's working in his favor, okay, is if we can get something hidden in an awkward location where Mark goes through all of these checks. He does all of this and he finds that he doesn't find, say fire rod or something like that. Something that's going to be a little bit difficult, something necessary. So if he doesn't find any of these checks, The good news is that Marty has already exhausted all of those light world locations that are kind of awkward to check. He did his hobo check. He did his ice rod cave. He did all of those things here. There's gonna be a chance for him to get back into this.
Oh, look at that bow.
That's a bow down.
He forgot that he was in the dark world there, so tried to flute, not having any luck. So he is going to go ahead and skip a decent amount of stuff, and going to go straight into Village of Outcasts, it looks like.
Yeah, I think that's a I'm feeling behind move right there, because get to Thieves Town as quickly as possible and just rush crystals, which, you know, makes sense at this point.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that we know he's going to find the bow in Thieves Town, which is going to give him access to 2 more crystals right off the bat. So it'll be interesting to see how well that works out for him.
The downside to it, though, is that there is a chance here that he misses the Ether Medallion there from the Smiths and the Master Sword down there from Cave 45. So he's making up time if he doesn't need those 2 items.
I mean, that's fair. I also think that it may have been a situation where he feels like doing the routing this way is still faster. So it may not be a situation of I'm purposefully skipping these locations. It could just be I'm more familiar doing this north to south, so to speak. So I'm going to go ahead and do it that way so that I don't make a further mistake.
Okay. Now Mark has mirrored back in, and he's going to flute away, and it looks like he's headed directly to 5 here. So he's going to get to combo, well, if he chooses to, he's going to get to combo Pod and Eastern there. But Pod is a green pendant, so that's a bit of a decision to make. You've got a lot of other things open to you right now. Do you want to? Is Pod where you want to go, where you want to be?
Yeah, that's a question that I think runners will differ their answers on based upon who they are, how they're feeling, and yeah, the day of the week, perhaps. So this could be a situation where if Marcnificent goes ahead and makes a dip of Pod, could waste a boatload of time. And if he doesn't, there could be something in here that Marty decides to go ahead and check. So this is another potential for some big divergence that could end up biting someone in the butt.
Yeah, well, he's opening it at the very least. He's going to mirror out. He's going to finish Eastern first. Now, I got to think that if I'm Mark, if I've already kind of committed, as Marty does the exact same thing in that one Thieves Town room there, has to switch over to the ice rod to hit the switch. Runners here just kind of having some hive mind right today, it looks like. But to finish what I was thinking, Mark, you're never going to be closer to Pod. And he's not going to get anything, I believe, from Eastern. I think all 3 items were in the front. There might have been an item in the back. I wasn't super paying attention to Marty's screen when he was in here. But so going into Pod when you have the chance there, it's a very defensible play.
Sure, but at the same point, if you're thinking about it from the mind of a spectator, or from a racer rather, if you feel like your opponent did something better than you, or has the potential to do something better than you, then you may feel like you need to make up time in either one way or the other. And that could easily lead Marcnificent to either completely avoid Pod, hoping that there's nothing in there, or decide to completely full clear Pod to try and get an edge that way. And those gambles, because I mean, either way, whatever Marcnificent chooses to do at this point, it is a gamble. You have a situation where you're either walking into a green pendant that you don't need to do, or you're avoiding a dungeon that has 5 items plus the green pendant that you could full clear to give you 6 items. So either way you look at it, there is risk.
That is rando in a nutshell right there. Is you're trying to make the best decisions that you possibly can with a very limited set of information here. So it's we're gonna have to see exactly which of these runners are going to really get the right decisions here. I would, if I'm in Mark's shoes right now, I'm probably dipping pod after this, but I'm not completing it. I think I'm leaving that green pendant because getting to Helmasaur is just, it takes a long time. We'll have to, like I said, these runners might make a different decision very easily here as Dr. Marty takes his 9-hit blind fight there. Is getting on script mostly and a little off, but down goes blind.
Yeah, still a very nice fight. And honestly, I think that decision for Marcnificent may come down to whatever else is in pod. If there's absolutely nothing in pod, then it may be a situation of, well, I'm going to double down and go kill Helm. If there is something in pod, then I could see him just grabbing it and being like, oh, well, I just got the Fire Rod and the Cane of Samaria. I'm out.
It could be like the festive seed that I had last night where it was something like hammer, hook shot, red cane, and a required quake medallion in pod there. I just left pod shaking my head.
Well, that's a situation where we're not going to know what's required in terms of medallions because we don't know what we need there. But we do still have quite a few items that we do need for certain. One of them being the boots, which is somewhat nice because it means it can't be in GT, but there's plenty of places for those boots to be.
How would you like a boots there in the cutscene chest of Meyer or something like that there, which that's open to our runners as soon as they find themselves a fire source.
No, I want hook shot somewhere soon, and I want boots on pen.
Oh, we're getting mean already here, are we?
Hey, that's what you get for not checking pedestal when you had the chance. It was sitting right there in the forest, and you neglected it.
That's completely fair. That's completely fair. I understand your frustrations there. And Marcnificent grabs a big 20 there and a crystal from Eastern Palace. So it's up to him to make that decision we've been speculating on for the past 3 minutes or so.
Yeah, it was 29 digs for that heart, just for the record.
Oof. Mark's going into pod there, the way that I was kind of thinking he might be.
Yep, now it's just a matter of, is there anything in here? Because if there's not, even if it is the right play, quote unquote, like in terms of numbers and probability and that sort of thing, if Dr. Marty doesn't do it, it still saved time, regardless of how correct or incorrect it is odds-wise.
Now, the big thing right now, Dr. Marty has kind of saving himself some time here with this route, but the biggest thing right now that could hurt him is if he doesn't, if Turtle Rock turns out to be Ether. This could be that would be a massive swing there because he's just left the Smith chain there, even though he had mirror and flute and everything available. He didn't check anything related to the Smith's chain, hammer pegs, purple chest, nothing. So, oh, and it looks like as soon as I said that, he's on his way back.
So this actually makes sense because of the fact that he has the flute and the mirror and all that. He doesn't have to walk that way with the chest like he normally would. Goodness gracious, I couldn't think of the word. I kept thinking cape, and I was like, he doesn't have the cape. Speaking of which, we haven't had a bumper cave check yet. It'd be interesting to see if there's something there.
Yeah, we haven't gone to North Dark World at all there. I was one of the nice things about the route that Marcnificent got to take there is that if you want to, you can take that, wrap that route all the way around, grab yourself a graveyard ledge, head into Catfish, and just knock out all of the really annoying checks at once there, as the big key is on the bow-locked side of pod there. Actually, both items were on the bow-locked side of pod, so if Marcnificent is paying attention to his key logic, he knows that he can go directly to the back. He doesn't have to check anything else.
Yeah, pod key logic is one of those interesting ones. It looks like Marcnificent is in fact paying attention, so kudos to him. And yeah, we do have that ether at this point for Marty's side, so no worries there. But the purple chest grab, going to be doing that. I don't know, it's kind of interesting at this point. We've kind of orphaned Bombo's tablet for both of our runners a little bit. Especially if it's something like Hookshot. And speaking of medallions, there's Bombo's.
That's a good thing right there. Now, I kind of assumed that when our runners pick up Hookshot and are going into Swamp, if they're still looking for things at that point, that's when they'll go and check the Bombo's medallion here, as Marty is making his way into Mire here for something that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Got the flute, just recently acquired the mitts. Might as well go ahead and do a check here, see if you can kind of get ahead. Not a bad check, especially if we get a situation where, I don't know, the Cane of Samaria is sitting here.
And he's picking up something. Picked up, I caught a heart piece there out of the chest on the left. I unfortunately was not able to see the chest on the right. There,
Yeah,
any luck on your side?
I had the same issue you did. I am currently watching it back on the restream, and I'm going to see if I can see it here, but I'm not holding my breath.
All right. Well, while we were there, he swam by and showed us that Misery Mire there is Bombo's, which is not a terrible thing. He's going to choose to go ahead and pick up the blue boomerang here, both to help with his menu and for a little bit faster GT routing, typically.
Alright, so you can't see it on the restream either. It does look like we're going to get an Agana check here, which is slightly more efficient as we see a cape over there in the big chest, and Marcnificent, yep, not getting that green pendant, so we're going to leave that for the time being.
You were asking for the cape, and it has now appeared.
So this is interesting, because outside of Bombos, there really wasn't anything in Pod.
And that one thing that Bombo's medallion did give us now is if Mark chooses to, that's Ice Palace open to him. And that would be his next completable crystal. So he's fluting away, and he's going down to 8. So well, okay, gonna check Ice Rod Cave first. So we'll have to see if he's gonna go ahead and make that Ice Palace dip, as Dr. Marty is gonna probably follow in Mark's footsteps here, doing the Pod Eastern combo, it looks like.
Yeah, honestly, it would kind of surprise me to see Marcnificent skip Ice Palace at this point, given that he just grabbed a blue goo there, so that leads towards Ice Palace as well.
Blue goo to probably mitigate any sort of damage there that Cold Stare gets, and he's sitting at what looks to be 9 hearts. Cold Stare hits like a truck, even if you've got blue mail, so he's gonna probably be... runners of this caliber are generally fine with that, but that Cold Stare fight can go sideways on you, so picking up that blue goo for a safety there is definitely a good idea.
Yeah, especially as we don't have Fire Rod and we don't have the Bacon Blade. Both of those make this quite a bit easier. And since we don't have either of them, unless we grab one of those in Ice Palace itself, it's gonna be, you're not gonna be clearing out Cold Stare really fast with the Master Sword. It's just not gonna happen.
Right, you're looking at some spin strats and generally having to dodge the icicles falling from the ceiling there, and it's not a whole lot of fun. Mark's going to move on to this first chest in Ice Palace, which... and he's going to use some bomb strats for the Pengator room here. These are always fun here. Gets most of them, leaves one, it looks like. Now pull out the hammer to finish off this other guy here in the corner.
Yeah, really well done taking out 5 of the 6 with bombs. Not bad at all. Not an easy room if you don't have either the... honestly, if you don't have the hook shot, it's not really that fun.
Oh, definitely. And the other thing with that is like if you're using bomb strats in there, you have to be very confident in your Ice Palace bomb jump there. It's runner they should be able to hit it the first time, but especially when you add in a little bit of nerves and you miss it once, and that can spiral out of control on you if you're not careful here.
Yeah, honestly, usually it's a situation where you either get it on the first try, on the second try, or on the 10th try. So it's nice to have those bombs just in case.
Anybody who's ran this game competitively can probably tell a story about the times that they ran that they ran out of bombs doing the Ice Palace bomb jump because for some reason it just wasn't happening that day.
Marty missing the quick kill there, but not really going to be a big deal. Only going to take a couple more seconds.
With the nice Ice Palace bomb jump there, gets it the first try. First try every time as Dr. Marty picks up his second crystal there out of Eastern Palace, and have to see if he's going to make that jump into pod because that's where his Bombos medallion is.
So now I'm terrible with Ice Palace key logic, but I think at this point everything is technically out of logic because we didn't see a key in that first chest, so we would technically require the hook shot at this
It's
point.
not quite yet. Mark could tell us there if he had gone left and checked the very next chest down in the Freezor room there. That would have told us 100% if this is in logic yet. But he's not going to care because he's just going to do the bomb jump to get across, it looks like. So one of those secondary bomb jumps there that he nails on the first try there. It's a little bit of a different setup there. You just try to push yourself all the way down as far low as you can without falling off and drop a bomb, and usually you're fine.
Alright, so Marty going ahead and doing this the more traditional way for pod, but that does mean that we're going to see two checks here that are just going to be keys.
That's unfortunate for him there as he picks up one key and then jumps down and he's going to find himself another key as Mark just grabs a small rupee there, just a single solitary poor green rupee there out of that, and then picks up 10 arrows. And if I'm right, I think that was all 3 items already.
I believe you are correct, which leads this to be a very odd Ice Palace. Usually you have to search for that third one.
Yeah, this is Mark's gonna go. If he's been counting, he's gonna go directly to Cold Stare right now, and that'll be that. Dealing with the fun of the ice physics in here. Link's great battle versus ice plus stairs.
Yeah, boots and or hookshot make this quite a bit easier. We have neither of those, so we get to just slip and slide around.
Marcnificent's going to come up here. He's going to fill up his heart container here. And before he heads into the Cold Stare fight here, let me just make a quick thing here too. If you get a chance, please do follow these runners. They are putting on a pretty good show for us tonight here. We've got a great race between Marcnificent and Dr. Marty here as they are battling in a Game 3 to find out who is going to make the brackets of 64 in just the next second here. Please do give them a follow when you get the chance.
Yeah, these guys are putting on a show, like you said, and it's honestly difficult to go ahead and put yourself in a competitive situation with a lot of people watching, so major kudos to them for doing it. Alright, with the absence of the Tempered Sword and the Fire Rod, the hammer has come out for a little bit of Cold Stare payback. As you can see here, if you line yourself up on the northmost wall, those lovely little icicle blocks don't break, which is why Marcnificent was leaning towards that. Now, I think Cold Stare does 4 hearts of damage with blue mail, so yeah, gonna take out that cane right there, make things a little easier.
Yeah, it's either 3 or 4. Either way, I believe he was just 1 hit away from death there. Pulled out the blue cane to just go ahead and get him out for the rest of the way. Picks up his key, picks up his 3rd crystal. What do we do now here? Because we've got a little bit of awkward choices to make here. Because you've got North Dark World, you've got Mire area. I mean, where are you gonna go?
I mean, at this point, I'm kind of hoping for Dr. Marty's sake that he does go ahead and beat Helmasaur, and that's the answer, that green pendant. But honestly, I don't know. You have Dark Death Mountain too, actually, come to think of it. There's only
2 checks up there right now. I mean,
yeah, that's a fair point.
It's a rough one to try to figure out. I would be leaning toward Mire, but we don't have a way into Mire at the moment here, so maybe this is the catfish or something like that.
Could be. It could also be something simple like Skull Woods, which I think we might see from Dr. Marty here.
One of those things, Skull Woods, a lot of times you don't check it and then you just kind of forget about it here. This might be a really good play here for Marty, because this could not put him in the lead necessarily, but maybe give him a decent advantage here, as Mark is gonna make that catfish and pyramid play, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it. I think ideally we'd have something like the fire rod or something in here, something that would make Skull Woods really unappetizing for Marcnificent to get Marty back in the game, and go ahead and make up some ground while Marcnificent continues to check things that would at that point hopefully not have anything for Marty's sake.
I mean, because Marty could go mode Ice Palace if he finds something there, and that is a bit of a time save. I mean, because of the item layout, Marcnificent didn't have to make the full clear of Ice Palace, so it wouldn't be a huge save, but this is going to help him a little bit there, because Mark never checked the front of Escape. Now, this is where Marty having to full clear the Light World in order to find his gloves is going to start coming back.
Honestly, we also have the potential of there being something in the front of Swamp.
Which is the worst possible thing for our runners. I can guarantee neither of them want that, but that's going to be their both last location. That I can almost guarantee that part. But
I mean,
we're running out of things.
that's our highest concentration of items at this point. We're sitting at, potentially 2 items here in Skull Woods. We're sitting at, we've already full cleared everything that we can of Desert. We're sitting at, I mean, we're not going to have 6 items in the front of Swamp. We could easily have 3 or 4. We've got a couple of checks in the Overworld once we get that done. With the Pyramid Ledge, Catfish, we've got Graveyard Ledge, but everything's kind of isolated a little bit. Not super isolated, but isolated enough that you're not feeling good after making 5 checks.
Definitely, and it looks like Skull Woods is just a bust right there. All of the items are in the back, unfortunately, so I'm assuming this is going to turn into a North Dark World check there, hopefully into some sort of maybe a catfish check, as well as Marcnificent's having a little bit of trouble there with the ball and chain guards, going for the spin attacks, finally gets him down. Dr. Marty checks that cape check there on Bumper Cave. That is just a nothing right now. So onward we go. We got to find something here pretty soon, because both of these runners are just, they're not finding anything, unfortunately.
I mean, we still do have a decent amount of checks. They're not fun checks, but I mean, there's at least 10 checks right now that are still out there. This being one of them. We also still do have Bombo's tablet, which both of our runners can access and pull now with the Master Sword.
That's another one of their. Unfortunately for both of these runners, they have isolated so many just kind of individual checks here. I mean, Dr. Marty's getting has a little bit of a path here to curl around and check the northern side, but as of right now, like, we don't have a fire source to put something like Helmasaur in logic. We don't have a lamp there. This catfish check might be our answer at this point, and well, I mean, this could be the thing that really turns the game around for Dr. Marty, because I think Mark is probably headed this way in just a second, but you never know.
Yeah, at this point, I would be surprised to see Marcnificent skip the catfish, just because at this point, you know, especially with him having cleared Ice Palace, that's another group of locations that are out of the way. As we see a big 20 over on that pyramid ledge, so nothing's fun there.
Yeah, we can eliminate Pyramid. Catfish is going to have our silver arrows, which, I mean, hey, fantastic. You're on Master Sword. You love that, but not progression.
Meanwhile, Marty is skipping the pyramid ledge for the moment and deciding we're going to go ahead and do Ice Palace. So going to get that out of the way.
So the Dark Death Mountain, or is it gonna be Swamp? Or because both of those are not fun to check. Dark Death Mountain, you don't have a hook shot, so you can't go the quick way. You have to climb the entire mountain, mirror, go all the way over. I mean, the only bonus to that is that I guess you could check you can check Turtle Rock real quick, but this officially got ugly.
Turtle Rock is an option. We don't have fire rods. We might get locked out at some point, but Turtle Rock is an option.
Well, I mean, you can check the well, I mean, I guess you don't even need to check the medallion requirement. You can't go into Turtle Rock yet. But man, something got to give here.
Well, it looks like Marcnificent is going to go ahead and do Skull Woods right now, and then probably do Graveyard Ledge as well, I would think, because this would be the best time to do so, and there's not really anything else around here for him to check.
It seems like this is the time where our runners are just going to kind of retrace each other's footsteps here, and you know, it's too early to say here, but just a quick thought to the possibility of a ped seed at this point. We're looking at Hookshot, we're looking at Fire Rod, and possibly Boots.
If we're looking at Boots or Hookshot, the other has to be found in order to complete Mire.
Right.
So, if we're looking at one of those, the other one has to be around. And I've been calling Boots on Ped for a while now, so I'm just going to kind of let that sit there. But I think we have a situation, actually, where doing Swamp is a better play than going up Dark Death Mountain.
Dr. Marty, unfortunately, showing our nice issue there with a bomb jump there. If you get too low on health, or if you get too low on bombs, you can run yourself into a bit of an issue there. Had to pop his blue potion there to make sure that he could complete the bomb jump. Well, so yeah, I kind of agree with you at this point. It might be time to go to Swamp, and that's just the worst.
I mean, honestly, Swamp being empty and there being something on Dark Death Mountain is worse than that, because at this point you're looking at, with no hook shot, you've got to climb the mountain. And climbing the mountain takes just as long as opening Swamp Palace does. So then you're climbing the mountain for 2 items? That's not. Oh, he gets wall mastered. That was not fun. So we get to try that room again. I mean, I feel like swamp not being the answer is actually worse in this case. I would rather swamp be the answer because that's the smart play. At this point, you'll at least get more items for your. This room really not giving him any fun.
Them Gibdos are just being mean right now. With his luck, he's going to open this next room and there's going to be one standing right in front. Luckily not. Wouldn't be surprised to see a quick death warp there, yeah, just to refill his health. That makes sense. Whew.
Yeah, Marty, meanwhile, did use Quake on those Pen Gators, which is a really good use of those medallions since we're lacking any real firepower to take them out quickly.
A Quake is probably my preferred way to get through that room if you don't have Hookshot, if you don't have Tempered Sword. It's just, the as far as I'm concerned, the better way to do it here. It is, yeah. Well, an hour into the seed, we're just kind of running through the others' checks here. With that, I guess I'll say this. This whole operation runs off of volunteer help here, so I'd like to give a big shout out to our tracker here today, Reg. He's the one clicking the buttons there behind us, making sure that everything is in order for us, and so that everybody can follow what each runners have collected together. If you're interested in volunteering to help in this tournament or just anything in the speed gaming area there, go ahead and try to visit the Discord. It's always looking for help.
Yeah, for those of you who have not tracked, it is actually much more attention intensive than you would think it is. I've done it a couple times. I honestly hate it. It is difficult to keep track of. Meanwhile there, Marcnificent forgot that he had the gloves, kind of took the long way around the graveyard ledge.
At this point, I think there's got to be some little bit of, maybe not nerves, but like at this point, just tension building up over where is everything?
Yep, and we're going to get a Mire area check, which Dr. Marty has also done. So the seed, with its absolute horribleness, has ensured that we have a race again. Because we're going to get, oh goodness gracious, cold stare permitting, another crystal here for Marty.
He is squeezing through some of those holes so tightly. It is impressive there. That is some good movement and some good knowledge and awareness of where you are as a sprite there.
Honestly, that lag makes the hammer even worse because you just see Link hold it up for about a minute and a half before finally swinging it down, and you're like, come on, go, go, go!
Well, Mark is gonna...
Mark, you can't do that, Mark.
He's gonna open it. he's gonna realize very quickly that he can't go anywhere in it, but he's gonna open it.
Mark, you can't do it, Mark.
I've done this many times myself. Get inside, take 3 steps, and go, oh, right. Oh, oops.
Alright, so Dr. Marty gonna forego Swamp and head all the way up here for for Dark Death Mountain. So let's see how that works out.
All right, this is going to be one of our 2 remaining locations to find here. This also, unfortunately, might just for Dr. Marty. He hasn't checked Spike Cave yet, so this might be a Super Bunny into the Spike Cave check. So he's actually got 3 checks for him, so I could understand this play making more sense in his case. But Mark, on the other hand, is on his way into Swamp Palace, it looks like.
Yep, so at this point, whichever check ends up having the next item of progression is going to be our leader for the moment. Rando's kind of weird in that we don't have explicit leaders until people are in go mode and have everything they need, but for the time being, going to give a temporary advantage, so to speak.
Right. You're never really in the lead until you've picked up that Triforce there, because things can go wrong in the worst possible way. We've seen some crazy things already in this tournament. As it turns out, Quake was our medallion needed to open up the Turtle Rock, as Bombos drops just a red rupee.
Alrighty, so we do have a Super Bunny check here. The contents of Dr. Marty's check going to be known a little quicker than Marcnificent's, so we'll see in a moment.
Hey, 2 chests of Super Bunny. One is the
boy.
King of Samaria.
Right into Turtle Rock. Here we go, baby. And honestly, this could be huge. If there's hook shot in here, for instance, or the fire rod, oh, this could be enormous. Here goes the fun. Get your randomizer guesses in chat, guys. This could get ugly really fast.
Oh, this could get real bad there. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Marcnificent in swamps. If we see something like a fire rod in here, that's going to be really ugly in the other direction. Oh boy, this is where Randomizer says, hey, good luck.
You've done the best you can. Let's see what you've got here. It looks like I'm on the edge of my seat right now, so trying to figure out exactly what we've got.
And we can keep going.
Dr. Marty, you get to keep going. Oh, man.
Oh, and there's the fire rod.
Okay, so this is bad. Dr. Marty, hopefully...
There are 2 things that make this not terrible. Either 1, we need something other than a key in here, or 2, we need this to lead to the hook shot, because then it would be a double dip no matter how you look at it.
If this, or what could be really fun is if this is the hook shot and you had to double dip one of these dungeons, no matter what.
Oh boy, this is ugly. Alright, so for those of you who are unfamiliar with the fire rod logic, in order to keep going, we need the big key in the next chest, which... that would be unfortunate.
Yeah, now that fire rod has unlocked the back of Skullwoods, where we've got 2 items there. We're still looking for a hook shot and the boots. So there's still items necessary for everything here. Dr. Marty could still find something to put himself back in a better position here, as he's doing the little used silver arrow strats here on the pokies. Gets him down there without too much problem. Very nicely done.
Yeah, pokies are much more easily murdered with either the temper sword or the fire rod, and there's a big key. Oh boy. Honestly, at this point, if you want this to be a close race, we need that hook shot. We either in Mimic Cave or in the big chest or somewhere, we need that hook shot in Turtle Rock, or we need something in Turtle Rock leading to the hook shot. So if the boots are in here and the hook shot is in Desert behind Landmo, I don't even know if there's an item there, but if there is, that's what we need at this point. Other than that, it's going to be a nice advantage for Marcnificent.
Thing I'm wondering here is that if you are Marcnificent here, you picked up the fire rod out of the first chest of Swamp. He's continuing in and goes all the way left side here. So if there's nothing over on the left side, he's sinking time in here. Of course, he doesn't know that, and there's a very good argument to say that you've already jumped in. You might as well get everything that you can. You don't necessarily want to leave anything behind, especially at this point when you're probably already feeling pretty bad with just how ugly this seed has been. There's an argument, though, on the other hand, that you should have just jumped out and gone and checked some of those other locations, because that fire rod opened up a lot to you.
I mean, that is true, but then on the flip side, you have the realization that so a lot of runners really don't like doing Turtle Rock anything other than last. So that fire rod really only opened up the 2 items in the back of Skull Woods. It also did open up Turtle Rock, but right now, that's not something that Marcnificent's going to want to do. So I can understand the play. It's not a bad play from his perspective. But if that fire rod ends up being go mode for Marty, this is going to be a really fast swamp for him.
Oh, and that left side swamp is
and there's the boots. That was the boots. That was the boots.
Okay, this is still wide open now. This is totally wide open because the bonus for Dr. Marty is that for Mark is that he only has to go into Turtle Rock once. Okay, so that's good.
No, we don't necessarily know that. This could be only into Turtle Rock once, but if those boots lead to the hook shot, which could be here in Mire, could be in Desert, could be in Bonk Rocks or King's Tomb, if those lead to hookshot, then it's going to have to be a double dip of Swamp. So you're just trading off one for the other at this point, which since we didn't find the hookshot in Swamp, is going to happen. So it's a double dip either way.
Well, right. Well, you can finish Turtle Rock on your first time up there, though, if you're Marcnificent. That's the thing. He's gonna find Marty has taken those boots, and Chad is pointing out something that I don't think I noticed here a second ago. Marty's still missing a fire source. He doesn't have fire rod. He doesn't have a lamp to finish off this dungeon. He's gonna pick this up and run over to this big chest now. Maybe he gets bailed out here and this is a lamp, but we'll see. It's not.
And did
that takes Desert Palace. Yeah, that takes Desert Palace completely out of the logic here, and Marty is just not sure what to do. He's saving and quitting and saving and quitting again. Marcnificent on the other side is up there turning in the mushroom. I have to assume that immediately after this he's going to head to Skull Woods.
Yes, but then on the flip side, we're going to get King's Tomb here and Bonk Rocks from Marty, which are going to be new locations for us. And if there's something required here, then this could get really, really turned around. Especially if there's something like the hook shot in here, because it would mean that Marty wouldn't have to double dip Swamp Palace. If we find the hook shot somewhere back here in Skull Woods, then all bets are off and it's a double dip either way. But if it's not necessarily a double dip, then we've really just traded a double dip of Turtle Rock for a double dip of Swamp. And both those are kind of six of one, half dozen of the other, honestly.
Those are both terrible things here. Now, are we going to see a lumberjack? No, we've already seen lumberjack checks on both of these now that I think about it. So we won't be looking that way here. Now, looks like Marty is going to make his Turtle Rock, not his Turtle Rock, I'm sorry, his Swamp Dive. Everything is just starting to get all mixed together in my head.
Now, the interesting thing here is, does Marty choose to now just turn and run? Which he might, because he's probably feeling super behind at this point.
Well, he is turning and running, but I don't exactly know where he's running to.
He hasn't done Pyramid Ledge yet.
Okay, that would be it right there. And Marcnificent is sitting here lighting up some Gibdos, lighting some torches there, getting through Skull Woods as he goes. Dr. Marty is going to find out that, nope, you really actually just want to go to Swamp. I know it's a terrible thing, but that's actually where you want to go today. Fortunate mirror bonk right there as Marcnificent drops into his Mothula fight. Gonna choose to go with the hammer strats here. If he gets this right, it's a very quick fight. If Mothula likes to be a jerk, which, let's be honest, he typically does, this could turn into a bit of a fight.
Yeah, Yeah, the programmers decided that they wanted to make sure that Mothula wouldn't take any damage, as we get a red mail, from the spikes. So the way they decided to write that in was that any time Mothula hit the spikes, they wouldn't take any damage. Well, that's wonderful, until they wrote in a little caveat that said, well, if you hit Mothula with something, and then Mothula runs into the spikes, they don't take any damage, which is slightly more unfortunate.
Well, here we go. We've got one more item in the back of Skull Woods that we haven't seen yet, and then you have to kind of assume that Mark's probably going to make his way up to Dark Death Mountain there, and that's not our hookshot either. So that is what we're looking at. Hookshot, Firelocked in Turtle Rock, or is it that P-word option that we're about to get a check on? Oh, that's a shame. Just a small piece of heart there on your pedestal today. So that's not where our hookshot is.
At this point, given that our hookshot is almost definitely in Turtle Rock, or leading from Turtle Rock, Marcnificent has a significant advantage.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be there. Those boots did open up Misery Mire for you. And there's also the possibility that we find us a lamp. And if we find us the lamp, that puts our good old friend Helmasaur in logic as well. Because he's got your green pendant, and if either of those are the case, I expect both of these runners' interviews to just be screaming for a good 5 minutes.
We really needed Dr. Marty to just nope out right there. It's not likely, and it's not a good play numbers-wise, but it's what needed to happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, and what's worse is he's gonna realize that this is going to be a complete waste of time too, because that left side was a map. I want to say a map and a big key there. Yeah, and he's getting a little flustered right now. There's a couple of just running past a couple of keys here. It's not really helping him, unfortunately, at the moment.
Yeah, I think we might be at full-on tilt at this point, or near it.
It's understandable. You're an hour and 20 into this seed, and you're trying to, like, everything that you've been looking for today has felt like it's been in the last location. You last located your gloves. You've effectively last located your fire rod here. You're not going to be feeling good about your chances right now. Marcnificent on the other side. He's going to get to do a full clear of Turtle Rock here. So if he finds the hook shot, say on Laser Bridge or locked here behind the torches in the first part of Turtle Rock, you pretty much kind of say that unless something incredible happens, he's gonna have a massive lead here.
Yeah, pretty much. The only way this turns into a game is if our hookshot's sitting in mire. That's pretty much it. Because at that point, it's an anyone's guess sort of situation. Even though I think he'd still have the advantage, because there's really not a whole lot that Marcnificent hasn't checked. Yeah, I'm thinking, you know what? It could also. Oh, that's a spot Dr. Marty didn't check. It could be the first chest in Hookshot Cave.
That's true as well. And did I see Marcnificent do that there? I don't think I did.
Well, they can't do it yet because they don't have the boots. But once you get
right.
You can go check it afterwards, which is not something that Dr. Marty did.
Exactly. And someone bringing up a good point there that we didn't think about there. You complete this, you open up Pyramid Ferry.
Right, but at that point, Pyramid Ferry is basically just a further behind Turtle Rock location. You know what I mean? Like, in order for Marty to have a prayer, the hookshot needs to not be behind Turtle Rock in any sense of the word.
Oh, totally, I understand. I'm just more trying to figure out where the heck this hookshot is for my own health at this point here. I'm so glad that I'm on this side right now and that I don't actually have the controller in my hand, because this seed has been just cruel to our runners.
Yeah, not been fun. We're definitely going to find a key here and a compass. Okay, so nothing in those first two that's going to be terribly useful. But that key will allow us to obviously complete Turtle Rock. That's what we were missing from the crystal roller room that had the boots.
The big question here is if you're Dr. Marty, if you feel this behind, do you make the Meyer gamble early? Do you make the Helmasaur gamble early? Because if you pull hookshot, say, out of that, might be what could save you at this point.
I mean, that's a fair point, but then you have to think, okay, so what is Marcnificent going to do next? You know, Turtle Rock's out of the way. Let's say Turtle Rock's out of the way, gets nothing. Then there's going to be Pyramid Fairy, most likely, okay? Nothing there. Then what's next? At some point, you're going to be pointed towards either that Helmasaur green pendant turn-in, or Misery Mire.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, everybody is going to be funneled there, but if you can get there first, you can give yourself a chance. Like right now, Mark is getting ahead. It's but it's by no means insurmountable now. It's rough at the moment, though. It's just not a place that you want to be here. The argument to going to making those gambles is my opponent is already super ahead of me. That's the argument to that, and I need to make a kind of an off the wall sort of play.
Right, exactly. So what would have to happen here is Dr. Marty has to go in, beat Mothula, check the pedestal, get nothing, and then go, okay, I'm going to go into Green Pendant, or I'm going to go into Mire, and not only go there, but be correct. You can't do one and then do the other. That's not going to save you time, almost definitely. You need to guess, and you need to guess right, and that guess needs to not be Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's a rough one there. You don't want to be in his state there. You don't want to be in either of these runner states at this point here, because even at Mark's side, like in this tournament, generally, like some of the seeds, yes, have been a little bit on this, have been kind of like this, kind of just trying to find things, not having a super amazing time finding everything that you're looking for. But 25 minutes in, you're still not in go mode. You're not feeling good.
No, that is fair. I think the Marcnificent right now is feeling much better than Marty is, but it's not pleasant on either end of it. And I think part of who wins this is not just going to be who guesses correctly on where that hookshot is, assuming that it's not sitting here in Turtle Rock or Pyramid Fairy. It's who can handle the fact that they feel like they're 20 minutes behind better. Because honestly, at this point, both of them probably feel like they're 20 minutes behind. Welcome to Randomizer.
And Mark picks up his boots here, and it's going to be, now it's a question of what exactly is he going to do with that, as Dr. Marty takes down the moth there, and he'll pick up his red mail, as this is technically out of logic there for Marcnificent, as you can see, as he is in the dark doing this kind of roller coaster room here. Looks difficult, actually quite easy here. For those of you who have just tuned in, no, this is a full 7/7 crystal open mode seed here, so all of these runners have to go and get everything for this to finish this one out here, as we are on to Laser Bridge. First chest is just some bombs, second chest also some bombs, third chest is half magic, and yeah, this is probably good for Dr. Marty in a weird way, because this is going to be a key. Wait,
so I have an honest question. Where's the lamp?
Meyer, I'm assuming at this point.
It would have to be, right? And Marty is headed back up towards Turtle Rock, so it's going to be a straight up race at this point. Unless, again, we go, either we're now looking at Helmasaur versus Meyer, but that's really the only gamble to be made since Marty did not pick either of them.
And we're going to see, I mean, there's a possibility here. Haven't really been counting that Trinex maybe has an item, as unfortunately Mark misses his first shot there with the ice rod. Having a little trouble there, opting to try to do the usual 0 cycle setup there, missing the first shot though. Got a pretty good stun lock here though on the ice rod head there as it starts to explode, and we've got a now snake form of Trinex that Mark should probably be able to finish off pretty quickly.
Careful there. You made him spin a little early. Commentator's curse is a thing, my friend.
He's got it.
Be careful with the power you possess.
I kind of liked it the other day when me and the other co-commentator we somehow got the GT Big Key onto Tile Room because we both guessed Tile. I was proud of that one. As Marcnificent picks up his next Pyramid Fairy crystal here, so that's his 5th crystal at an hour and 30 minutes in.
All right, so for the hook shot, we are looking at first chest in Hookshot Cave. We are looking at, and that's not something that Marcnificent's going to check. Oh, wait, maybe it is something that Marcnificent's going to check? Stop confusing me, dang it. All right, so we are going to get a check here.
Yeah, these runners are seemingly wanting to deke the commentators here a little bit. This is turning into just an absolute mess of a seed here. So we're going to get 1 chest out of this.
And we are never going to see the other 3.
Oh, you wish you had that before you went to Helmasaur, not Helmasaur, but Trinex.
Yeah, pretty much. So, okay, so we're looking at Pyramid Fairy, Meyer, Helmasaur / Green Pendant. I don't know if Helmasaur has an item. I don't recall the count. And Marcnificent is going ahead with Meyer.
Well, he's going to go to Desert Palace, and I think he's finishing off Desert Palace first. And then we're going to have to figure out exactly what is he planning to do. Because, yeah, it's still open. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? The 2 in Meyer, where if you've been paying attention right now, I think you have to know it's only 1 in Meyer, because one of those is likely the lamp.
Right, but then you have to realize, have either of our runners checked everything else, or do they have individual locations that they still have that could possess the lamp? Because they may not be able to make that decision that we can from knowing all of the locations they've both checked.
I'm trying to think if anyone has left anything out there, and I'm not thinking. I can't think of anything right now.
That's a good point. The lamp could also be sitting in Hookshot Cave if we have an early Hookshot sitting in Meyer. So you do still have 2 chances for Hookshot in Meyer. Because I don't believe either of our gloves were fire locked, which would be your only other real requirement for getting up there. We got the flute early, so the mountain isn't locked by the lamp in and of itself. So we could still have Hookshot at either of those. We don't necessarily have to have a lamp in Meyer. As Dr. Marty gets 1.0, that's not fun. Be careful.
And those red beetles are just some of the most fun enemies to have to deal with. Ugh.
They've got so much health. It's obscene.
Yeah. Marcnificent takes down a Landmo there. Looked like a pretty clean Silver Arrow Landmo fight there.
Yeah, very nicely done for his 6th crystal. We are just looking for that hook shot. Alright, so at this point we're probably going to see Pyramid Fairy, I would assume. It's the quickest way to get 2 items. Although I have no idea what in the heck he is doing, if I'm being perfectly honest right now. Ah, the boots locations, that's right, because he has not checked those yet.
Interesting to see Dr. Marty going kind of the reverse way here for finishing off Trinex. The Ice Rod is much slower of a weapon and just so much more difficult to hit with. He's down. Oh, no!
It didn't matter. He was dead anyway. He doesn't have anything in that other goo, to my knowledge, and I just heard the Ice Rod beep at him, so he was going to be dead regardless.
Oh, no. That's a full back to Turtle Rock entrance right there. That is terrible.
And honestly, what makes it heartbreaking is that he's sitting on the powder right now. Could have powdered one of those anti-fairies and saved his butt.
That's a shame right there. That's one of those times where you just... I mean, you understand why. It's I've got to go, but God, that's a killer right there.
Yeah, at this point, we're basically going to be looking at pretty much full-on tilt. I don't know, unless Dr. Marty is made of much sterner stuff than I am, he's just going to be looking for that Daton. Because that is a rough way to finish out just a rough seed. And we do get the Mire dip from Marcnificent. So that pretty much, we actually got the Mire dip without getting Pyramid Fairy. So Pyramid Fairy is still out there, and it was not checked yet.
I mean, the thing is Dr. Marty's not out of this because of this play, pretty much. If Pyramid Fairy has the hook shot, I mean, it's still there. Yes, the Pyramid Fairy is out of logic at the moment, but it's a lamp, and most of these runners don't really care about the lamp because at this point, I'm assuming the lamp is here in Mire. I don't really see a whole lot of ways that the lamp is not in Mire.
Yeah, the lamp
unless
is
it's hook shot in here.
Exactly. Either the lamp or the hook shot basically have to be here. Because Pyramid Fairy is lamp locked and Helmasaur and Green Pendant are lamp locked. So this is really all we have. It has to be either here or hookshot's here. And it could be in Hookshot Cave at that point if Hookshot is in fact in Mire.
Marty's doing making sure to powder that anti-fairy this time here, as hopefully he's able to get around without too much trouble here. He's just having a lot of just poor enemy luck there. I almost never see that pokey almost over that far in the room there in Turtle Rock. Right, item number 1 in Mire is just a bee in a bottle.
Alright, so item number 2 is not going to be on... If item number 2 is on... No, item number 2 can't be on Vitreous at this point, right? Because it has to either be our lamp or lead to our lamp.
That's one thing that we do know for sure here. Now, Dr. Marty here's going to have to, looks like he's having a little bit better luck with getting that, that firehead locked in place here. So, and Marcnificent has already noped out of Mire. That's not where the hook shot is, it looks like.
So we're either looking at Green
shot?
Pendant or Pyramid Fairy.
Oh man, and has Mark? There's a chance here that Mark has forgotten about the Pyramid Fairy because he's not going there. This is a pod play right now.
Yeah, this is interesting. Oh man,
This might be a
this
case
seed-
where he's mismarked his crystals and he doesn't necessarily realize that Pyramid Fairy's just sitting there.
So we're looking at maybe an item on Helmasaur, and definitely an item in the green pendant right now for Marcnificent's play.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, here's the thing. We're gonna know in about 2 seconds whether or not this is the right play. Because I mean, Marcnificent is gonna get his way down to Helmasaur. He's gonna finish them. Helmasaur has an item looking at Mark's menu there. So we're gonna know really quickly if this is the right play or if he has just basically more or less lost the last 10 minutes. Sorry.
It's okay, man. It's one of those races. I think both of our runners are feeling the same way you are right now. He did find the lamp sitting there in Mire, so this is now actually officially in Logic.
Also, that lamp also does mean that now that Pyramid Fairy is also in Logic. So, looks like Marcnificent is just gonna go for the oops, all dungeons except for Aga.
Heck, might as well clear that out while you're here. And what is Dr. Marty doing? Oh, just fluting out. Okay. So at this point, we're looking at probably Desert. I would be surprised to see anything else at this point. And then potentially Mire would be the smart play in terms of numbers.
Well, let's see what he's got here. Like, he's gonna go Desert first. He's picked. Yeah, okay. He's going to mirror a little bit closer to the entrance here. Marcnificent's actually a little low on health. He's got red mail, so I mean, Helmasaur shouldn't be an issue. I say that gently.
Oh, why'd you have to say it at all, man? Come on now. It's already an hour and 40 minutes. Don't give them anything else.
Well, he's holding out this sword in front of him here to kind of protect himself a little bit. Helmasaur's playing nice at the moment. He's got the silver arrow, so he's going to go for the sword strats, though. And yeah, takes it out real quickly there. Helmasaur is going to give us a nice little explosion, and we're going to find out. So, do you have our hook shot?
Yep, told you should have cleared it.
Hour and 40 minutes and 12 seconds there. Marcnificent is officially into go mode.
Man, who put that there?
I mean, the bot has been, this entire tournament, the bot has just been in a snit.
And once again, we're gonna have a seed that is almost going to be a 2-hour seed. Not gonna quite end up being there, but gonna be close.
At this point, it's going to really kind of depend on where that big key is in GT. We could be pushing close-ish to 2 hours. I would say, like, yeah, this is just one of them rough ones.
And yeah, Marty going Mire. So this is definitely at this point Marcnificent's race to lose.
Logic on this seed. Oof. It's so what you needed to come into Mire for was the lamp. And you had to get the lamp out of here to go and get your hook shot off of Helmasaur. This is in chat they're bringing up that yeah, all 3 pendant dungeons were required in this seed, at least logically required.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Marty's sitting in the one that's not actually going to be helpful.
This is definitely the unfortunate thing here. It's not a whole lot he can do at this point to really help himself. At this point, the only thing that can really help him is if Marcnificent does something.
Tragic.
Miss menus, mirrors at the top of GT Tower, something like that to lose himself a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, at this point, it's most definitely Mark's race to lose, especially with the silvers, with Tempered Sword, with Red Mail. We're looking at a situation where we're armored enough that we're going to be feeling okay, even with the nerves and stuff that's going to be going on here. So it would require basically a GTD spawn or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, there are things that can happen here, so by no means change the channel. stick around, hang out with us, and give your GGs to the runners here at the very end. And if you can, also give them a follow when you get if you could. If you've been sitting here watching this seed, you know that these guys are just getting put through the ringer, trying to figure out exactly where everything is today. Mark leaving that key behind a little early. You can see that both of them it's an hour and 40 minutes in, and in a tournament race at an hour and 40 minutes in, you're basically crying and asking for your mom at that point.
Especially since there's really nothing that would make this seed terrible settings-wise. It's not Key Sanity, it's not even Maps Compass Shuffle, it's not Inverted or Randomizer or anything that would generally make a seed being nearly 2 hours long tolerable. It's just a regular old seed that is just being absolutely cruel. In a situation where our runners made some plays that really didn't help themselves out. Like, if one of them had gone and completed pod and gotten that hook shot, we'd be looking at a very different finish time. But because of that, it led to a double dip here and a double dip there and a last location here and one there, and just not been a good seed.
Yep. And as we can start to see in chat there, that was our 7th crystal. So we do play a little game as Marcnificent is climbing Death Mountain here for the final time. There is a GT Big Key hiding somewhere in Ganon's Tower. There are 22 chests in which it can be. Go ahead and get your guesses there into chat for what number chest you think that will be. Hammer Bro, what are you thinking that key will be at today?
So at this point, it's a toss-up between, do I want to put the runners out of their misery, or do I want to see a leading 2 in that finishing column for our winner today? And honestly, truth be told, I want to see a 2. Give me 22. Tile room, big key. Give it to me. Give. How about you? Where are you going with it?
Oh man, that tile room one is a bit of a thing here, because that could give Dr. Marty a chance there to gain back some time if he just gambles the tile room right at soon as he can. Although I think in this case, I'm probably just going to go, give me a 4 here. Let's just make this quick and easy and let these guys get on with the rest of their holidays. All right, and we're going to close this guessing game as soon as Marcnificent climbs these stairs and enters the tower.
Yep, the bot is dead to my knowledge as we get a Pyramid Fairy check, just 25 rupees. So you're not going to get anything official, unfortunately, but you will get a shout out from us, hopefully, if I can manage to keep Twitch chat working for long enough. 1 and 2, nothing useful, and no key, so we're going to be heading off to the left. Alright, just a small key on the torch, so like usual, we don't get a big key on the torch, but Bob still dies. Sorry, guys.
Looks like I got my guess coming up here in the Stalfos room here. I'll get the first chest here, number 4, as soon as Mark can work his way over there.
And at this point, we might see an interesting choice here. He could choose to go with the Dark Magician route. Just a rupee hoard there, sorry.
I think the first time I ever played the Big Key guessing game, I got it right. Every single time after that, did not. And this he's killed Stalfos, so he's not going to go with the Dark Magician today. He's just going to continue on straight left, it looks like.
So that shows me that Mark's feeling okay. Because if he were feeling behind, he'd be more likely to do something stupid, like go do Dark Magician. Because if I haven't seen a dot done yet, then the key must be somewhere terrible. So probably still, in spite of all this, feeling, let's say, tolerably about this seed. Meanwhile, Marty went ahead and is last locationing his hookshot, just like a lot of other things in this seed. Not been a friendly seed for either of our runners, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. Marty's gonna probably have some very choice words to say about this seed.
Yeah, if anything,
we'll have to see if he's willing
stick
to come
around
talk
for
to
the
us.
interviews if either of our runners are willing to do so at this point. Alright, up next we have Randomizer Room, so called because you only open this room during the Randomizer, because in the vanilla game, absolutely nothing useful, and frequently during the Randomizer, absolutely nothing useful, so we'll see what's in here. Ah, the Arrow of Destiny.
Game can be completed now, right? I mean, that's the meme at least.
Yeah, get us out of a sticky situation at least.
And Dr. Marty's on his Helmosaur fight, just opting to go run straight up and smack him with the hammer a bunch of times.
And a silver to the face, and yeah, that's all we got. Who knew that Helmosaur was part werewolf? Come on, man, it wasn't that funny. You're just overtired from this long seed.
Oh, I'm glad my mic has a mute button there.
Alright, so Bob's chest having nothing. We are now already sitting on 15 through 17, so here we go. Well, there's the other green rupee. Uh-oh.
Sir, we might have to have a talk about your big key choice here. Man, this seed just wants to keep crushing these runners.
Alright, so at this point we are looking at a 20% chance from what we know of a tile room, and yep, tile room is confirmed to be 22 at this point, which, I mean, makes sense. But I've seen some runners at this given point do silly things like do tile room first, and that is not something Marcnificent is doing. So we are going to get the 4 chests here in the so-called compass room because, well, believe it or not, in the vanilla game, has the compass. You know what I want to see? I want to see the collection rate for both of our runners. I realize that we may very well not see it for Marty, but I really want to see it. There it is!
Hey, we found it. All right. To be completely honest, I think there's a very, very good chance that the collection rate for Mark is going to be pretty similar to the collection rate for Dr. Marty at this point, because these guys have gotten everything. So that was number 20?
That was 19, so shoutouts to, and I'm probably going to mispronounce this, I'm sorry, Hacheligatoni.
And you had to say that, not me, because I was looking at that going,
Can it be 20?
Nope.
Please tell me it's
Yeah,
20.
I'm just like, I don't know how to say that.
It's okay, I had a couple of seconds to sound it out while you were trying to figure out what number it was. I was sitting here with my microphone off going, Hacheligatoni. Yeah, we'll go with that.
That'll work. Something like that. Dr. Marty's making his way back. He's going to get his 7th crystal right now. He's got to start thinking about... I not feeling amazing there. Now, Mark, on the other hand, he's down to 4 hearts. Red Mail 4 hearts gauntlet. I'm not 100% sure of his bottle situation here. Should should be all right. Oh, very nice fire rod shot there, catching that Zizak blue horse dude over there. He hasn't even taken a hit yet. This is fantastic.
All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and shout this out. Guys, the gauntlet is hard. I know it sounds like I'm lying to you. I know it does. I know you just looked at him do that in about 3 seconds and went, "What do you mean? These rooms are easy." No, the gauntlet is hard. Don't let Marcnificent lie to you.
It typically doesn't go that smoothly by any means. That was an impressive little thing right there that he did there.
It's okay, Land Mode 2 got payback. We got a 3 cycle there. Meanwhile, we have 2 of the most satisfying rooms in all of Zelda's coming up here. This first one, great. The second one, a little bit harder to pull off, but so satisfying once you do.
It's another one of those, another one of these rooms that looks really difficult when you see it, and then when you try it yourself, you realize, oh wow, all I had to do was that, and yeah, that's it, and it just feels amazing when you pull that off for the first time.
Yeah, but usually after you pull it off once, you can't pull it off for another month.
Yeah, maybe it's crazy how things like that happen. Slumps are real, man. Slumps are real. Mark's got to be a little careful here. All right, okay, there you go. Because getting a little aggressive there, and might have stepped out onto those spikes there one more time, and that would have put him back down at the beginning.
Yeah, that would have. I mean, it still would have been his race to lose, but the tilt factor for him would have probably gone up just a couple dozen notches.
That would have definitely put us up over 2 hours. That's for sure. Here, picks up the full magic container there, and he's gonna go to a. Oh, he's gonna. Yeah, I don't know if that was the right choice there, but he went for the hover. I don't know if that's I'm feeling behind move or I'm feeling what that was. I'm gonna have to ask him about that.
I mean, I feel like that's an I'm feeling behind. You only really hover if you're either feeling far enough ahead that it doesn't matter, or far enough behind that you need it. And given that it's an hour and 55 minutes in, I don't think he's feeling ahead. I mean, he is, but I don't think he's feeling it.
And we're moving on here. He's on his way to the Agate 2 fight, just as Dr. Marty is opening up the tower himself. So he's got basically for Dr. Marty, Dark Magician all the way, because there's no key on the right side for him.
Can we talk about these Agate 2 lineups? Because what the heck?
Got a double off of that last one there, and it looks like this one is a pretty decent double setup. Yep, we got 2 there, yep, and he goes down.
Yeah, but honestly, those first 2 were awful. So for those of you keeping track at home, that's a 1-1-2-2 4 cycle. Not bad at all, given the setup that he was given for those first 2. And at just over an hour and 56 minutes, we're going to get a Ganon fight. So if you really want to see a 2-hour, we're going to have to see a fall here. Even I'm not hoping for that. And I really wanted to see that post 2 hours. So let's just hope for a clean Ganon fight and get this poor seed over with, because this has not been fun for anyone involved.
We get the duck again. God, every time I see that, I want a duck. I want a companion duck now. Looks like Mark goes for the 1 and 1 there.
Here we go, Dr. Marty doing Dark Magician. Heck yeah!
That's something good right there. That'll save him some time. Mark pulling off a nice one-on-one on Ganon here. So he's got a couple of fire bats out, but
he also does have a blue goo, so we do have some options here if things start to go south. But with silvers coming up, we're basically looking at 4 shots to the frozen face of our favorite pig, and then a cross through the bridge of doom.
And it looks like he's got it already set up. Got the torch glitch there with the fire rod. Ganon reappears next to him. He's only going to get a single off of that. Gonna look like it's going to be 4 singles here, but should get him without too much problem there. Little shaky on that last one there, but he is done. So get your GGs into chat. All Marcnificent needs to do is cross this little bridge, go through the tunnel, and pick up his Triforce. And we'll get a final time here in just a second. That gives Marcnificent finishing first place with an SRL time of 1:57.49. Get your GGs in chat. The man needs it at this point.
Go ahead and get a third G in chat, because this was about a game and a half. The Triforce not even giving us anything nice, saying, hey, you're 2 minutes late, jerk. Like, 2 minutes late? Your hookshot location was 2 minutes late.
Not even the hookshot location. That was hookshot plus bombos plus lamp plus everything else. This has just been a wild one. I can't wait to hear what the runners have to say about this thing. We are joined in the booth right now by Marcnificent. GG's there.
GG, thank you so much.
So, I guess, honestly, what I'm going to let you do first before I ask any questions here is, do you just want to vent for a couple of seconds?
Not really, but I mean, that was, we were talking after this match, and we were saying like how that was quite possibly the worst seed we had ever done, especially in like as far as a tournament race goes. That's definitely one of the worst seeds I've ever had, for sure.
Oh, you guys definitely got put through the ringer there. You were just getting pushed everywhere to find that hook shot there. At what point did you start to? At what point did you kind of realize that you wanted to go to and finish off the pendant dungeons before finishing off Pyramid Fairy?
I forgot about Pyramid Fairy. I forgot that Turtle Rock was the other red crystal, and I was just thinking. I actually was thinking in my head. I was like, "This has to be the lamp in Myers." So in my head, since I had forgotten about Pyramid Fairy, I was like, "This chest I'm checking has to be the lamp," and I was like, "Then it's got to be on Helmasaur King." That puts Helmasaur King in logic, and I know there was like one more item in there, and I also know that there's green pendant. So I actually went there first, and if it wasn't there, then I probably would have remembered Pyramid Fairy. So I guess I kind of lucked out there, but in my head, it all made sense, and I went straight there to Helmasaur King.
What was this seed? Like, I'm pretty sure this is the worst seed that I've ever seen in a tournament setting, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm pretty sure, and it's not by far, because we've seen some terrible seeds. But my question for you is, so now that you've completed this and you're on your way to the brackets, are you looking for more seeds that are just going to be as fun as this one was?
No, not at all. I was thinking like this entire time. I just thought I was behind. You guys saw the hover. I thought I was, I needed to catch up, and I was thinking I was going to lose because I failed the hover. But it was just in my head. I was thinking like, okay, let's just finish, and like it doesn't matter anymore. Like it's the holidays, let's have a good time finishing. So that's what I was thinking in my head. I just thought I was behind. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to that kind of stress in a seed again. But that's just well, maybe I guess I won this race, so maybe maybe this would play out in my favor. I don't know.
And well, either way, you did make it. Kudos to that. Only 64 people get to make it into the brackets out of an original, I want to say about 400 people. Might have overestimated that. Might be 340 or something like that. But you did make it into the brackets, so major kudos to you for that. And yeah, I can only hope that the future seeds are a little more friendly than this one was, because this seed was awful.
Yeah, it felt like... I mean, I felt behind, but at the same time, I only really dipped everything once before going up to to the Dark Death Mountain side, and I was like, "There's got to be something here. It's got to be Kane," and it just seemed like everything made sense there. And then, I guess it had us logically getting those boots, and then getting the lamp to go back up to Turtle Rock, to get through that dark room in Turtle Rock. So there was that. Obviously, I know the dark room, but I like to think about those things. I was like, okay, was this seed really, really evil? And I guess it was in that case.
Yeah, so basically what happened, and I don't know if you guys talked in the SRL chat about the fundamental differences, but basically what it came down to is that Dr. Marty didn't do Hera at all the first go round, so basically last location that, and then jumped into Turtle Rock early, and with that key layout was able to go all the way to the Mimic Cave area, or actually all the way to the Crystal Room where you get the boots, and then had to know about from there. So those two double dips were most of the time, and then Marty decided to check both Meyer and Pyramid Ferry before going into Pod for the hook shot. You guys both made the same decision there to clear everything in Pod except for Helmasaur himself.
Interesting. Did he have the lamp when he went to Pod the first time?
No. You guys, no. So you guys pretty much followed each other in the majority of your routing. It was a situation where you guys grouped together things in different orders, but because there was so much last locationing, you guys hit a lot of the same choke points.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't decide to go through with Pod the first time because I didn't have a lamp or a fire rod, and I think just going through that dark room would have actually taken me a really long time. And I guess I would have wasted more time in my head if it wasn't anything. So I just was not willing to gamble that. But obviously, it would have been cool if I had gotten that hook shot right away, straight away. So it would have been a single dip of swamp and then a single dip of everything, really. I don't know. Single dip of, I don't know, Meyer or no, Skullwoods. But yeah. But I guess those are the types of things you learn in seeds like this. You know, you play enough of these things and you think you have like encountered every single combination of routing that you could possibly think of, but no, there's seeds like this that you know, break you into something new, something fresh, and you know, really terrible, really.
All right, so we do have a race coming up in just a couple minutes here. So we are going to have to sign off. Unfortunately, we're not going to get any words from Marty today. Hopefully, he'll be in chat to answer a couple questions. But honestly, at this point, after this seed, I wouldn't feel like talking. So that might end up for the best. So we are going to go ahead and sign up here, and so I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to both of our runners. Give them a follow because this seed was absolutely terrible. So let's show them some sympathy, please, because this was awful, awful, awful. Shout out to Reg hitting the buttons for us. Shout out to my co-com Days Cloud. It was great common with you, and yeah, the last thing I have to say is, if you play Randomizer, may your seeds be kinder than this one. Please. Dr. Marty did ask that we convey his utter hatred for the last 2 hours, which I feel like most people kind of have that implied, but I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there in his own words. So you guys have a good night, and may these seeds be kind, or kinder than this one was. Night, everyone.
All right, night.